Hello there.
I love it.
Perfect.
We're live.
What
We
is up,
are
folks? Welcome to
live.
the Force Collective.
Yes. Today we're just sort of chilling, but I had a few things I wanted to update you guys on. By the way, this is my friend Dark Knight right here. He's the one that was going to be on the live stream but had to cancel. Say hello, Dark Knight.
Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Yeah. So we may have one more person coming in. Don't know for sure yet, but we are going to just be sort of chilling. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Star Wars analysis series. So I felt that it was too much of a Star Wars Topics type of series, so I'm actually canceling that series and I'm merging it with Star Wars Topics because a character itself, and this is what I was thinking when I decided to do it, a character can be a topic of one of those streams. Hello there, Chrono. General Kenobi. I'm going to put that in there. But yeah, so as far as the Star Wars analysis stream, it is no more. It is now merged with Star Wars Topics. So if we have a character we want to speak about, it will be during Star Wars Topics. So that being said, I've gotten some equipment for making gaming videos as well, which means Psycho that we're gonna have to start doing some recording stuff.
Dope.
Yeah, I've also got the Party Link cable coming as well to go with my Elgato. So then we'll be able to record our commentary and all that stuff. So that will be coming soon. I've been testing it out, and I'm really excited to try this. So it's gonna be fun. As far as updates go, that really sort of is the gist of it. I didn't have too much to update on, but I did not want to do a Star Wars analysis stream, and I just wanted to save like that kind of thing for Star Wars Topics. So we're really just here to chill, but I just wanted to let everybody know about that. So, and I always run this stuff by Psycho. He always, I'm not the only one making decisions here. He approves of this.
Yeah, we're in constant communication, just trying to refine things as best we can and try to work through things and just make the most engaging and interesting and professional content that we can, just so that we can get you guys as excited about this as we are.
Yes. And not only that, but there's like I just want to be able to do like something different because it felt too much like the same thing as Star Wars Topics, and that's why. So I'm thinking of an idea for Monday. I haven't got it refined yet. We're just experimenting at this point, so bear with us, I guess.
Right quick, have you rolled our intro yet?
I did, yes.
Okay, I must have been off in the clouds somewhere. I apologize.
Yes. No, it's okay. You're trying to keep me on my toes, but I assure you, I do.
You're on it. You're on it today.
I am on it today. I feel pretty good about this stream. We ain't really going to talk about like specific topics, but if Dark Knight wants to, because he wanted to talk about some of the things we talked about in Star Wars Topics last time, we might just let him voice his opinions on some of those things at some point in the stream. We might even run into like different series and stuff like that we might enjoy. This one isn't exactly like a full-on Star Wars stream. It's just chilling and talking to friends. So if let's see, if Chrono, you want to get in on the conversation. I didn't send it, dang it. I meant to send it in the chat, and it's, oh gosh, dang it. Well, I got it now. Oh, well, he cut out.
There went one.
Oh, no. Now, he'll be back. He'll be back. I always come back.
What is, okay.
Yeah. So, this is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to talk about?
I guess we could talk about something that just happened today. the new Shang-Chi trailer dropped, and it
Oh,
looked amazing.
I haven't watched it yet.
I
I've been
have
meaning to.
not
but I haven't.
either.
Oh
Mhm.
no. I want to watch it because I was actually sort of looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, it looks insane. And honestly, it looks like Marvel is doing their take on the League of Assassins. So it's a big knife to DC, in my opinion, on that.
That's
They've beat them to it. They have beat them to it.
nice. That's interesting. As soon as this stream is over, I'm going to go watch that
Yeah.
because now you got me interested. I've been on YouTube today, but I haven't I've not seen it.
Mhm.
I've seen it on there, but I've not watched it. So I need to watch it. I'll do that afterward.
Now we are very, very close to the release of the Bad Batch.
Yes.
And I'm highly anticipating it. I'm really excited just to see some Clone Wars animation again. You know, I'm stoked on that in and of itself. Do you guys have any predictions for the Bad Batch?
Well, I'll let you go first.
It's definitely gonna be during the Empire. No, it's I think they said the first episode's gonna be over an hour long, and that's huge character development with that. And
I'm hoping if that's the case that it might have a similar vibe as the last season of the Clone Wars, because it was super, super cinematic.
Mhm.
More so than anything we've really seen in Clone Wars, including the Clone Wars movie, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I'd really like to see, because honestly, the last season of the Clone Wars is like kind of a different vibe.
Yeah, those last 4 episodes in Clone Wars, oh my God, that was amazing.
I'm getting chills thinking about it right now.
And just the fact to know that Dave Filoni is just that heavily involved with Lucasfilm right now, I think it's in good hands, honestly.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do
yeah.
too. I do too. I wish they would give him more control because, like, you know, obviously Disney being what it is, it's always going to be a monopoly. It's always going to be how can we make as much money as possible? How can we sell tickets to the theme parks? How can we sell action figures? And, you know, to a degree, everything's about money, but I just feel like the vision has to be a little more important than that.
Mhm. You see, I think with that, you got to look at Dave Filoni's past. He started with Avatar. He's
I
knows
was actually
animation.
going to bring that up next.
He started with animation, and recently with The Mandalorian, he's then been able to actually write and direct episodes for live action. So now I think he's evolved because he did this one episode on Tatooine in Mandalorian season 1, and I think he looked at what he did right and what he felt like was the negative feedback, and then in the second season of Mandalorian, the Ahsoka episode, possibly one of the best episodes of that
Yeah,
entire season.
absolutely.
It just
Yeah.
shows you how much of an elevation he took from season 1 to season 2 with what he was allowed to direct. So I think he's kind of being buttered up in a way, or just he's learning, and eventually he might actually get to take on a full scale movie with Lucasfilms.
That's
It's
an
funny
interesting
that you
thought.
say that because that's like the logical next step probably, and that kind of just blew my mind because I never even considered it.
I didn't either, and honestly, that sort of makes me excited because
It seems like he's getting more and more control.
Yeah, it's just I don't think it's all about he's gathering experience because he always, with animation, that's a little bit different than dealing with like live action with actors and the VFX, all that. It's
I feel like
huge.
the first episode that he directed, it was like it was a little awkward,
Yeah.
like but he really grew into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say in season 1, it was one of the lower end of all the episodes I thought that came out that season. But like I said, I think if you compare his first episode with Mando season 1 to season 2, night and day difference of how much he evolved. He listened to the feedback. He was guided under. I mean, he has John Filoni right there, and not John Favreau. Jon Favreau, and I mean one of the greatest film directors of all time. And I mean, I think he's had a lot of guidance and he's had a lot of feedback on how to direct and how to do live action. And I think he's getting there to where he'll be able to do his own series.
Do you think the Ron Johnson trilogy is still going to happen?
They say it still is. I mean, I just think that's a publicity stunt at this point because, I mean, say what you will, there is a lot of people out there that defend The Last Jedi, and there's a lot of people that don't. But there's a lot of people that liked his vision. So I don't know what they're going to do on that scenario, but it's kind of like the DC. It's like, there's a crap ton of people wanting the Zack Snyder vision to keep going with DC. But then there's the other group of people. It's like, all right, that time's passed. Let's move on to the next thing. I see similarities with Rian Johnson and Star Wars there because they're trying to figure out how to divide that up because there is obviously a lot of people that want more of what Rian Johnson did. And then there are also people that don't. They want to move on to the next thing. That's kind of how I see it.
True. Very true. See, when it comes to like, there's one thing I'd like to cover. So the handling of the fans, since you're bringing up Rian Johnson and like how the fans want this and that, it doesn't seem like Lucasfilm has a great track record of handling their fans correctly. So what I like to do is compare Lucasfilm to 343 Industries for Halo, because 343 has done getting ready to do 3 Halo games. Okay. And the thing is, Halo 4 was disliked for, I guess, its multiplayer. Halo 5 was disliked for its story. And Halo Infinite is supposed to be what, everybody has been wanting, a combination of all things. Now, you might not know where I'm going with this, but trust me, I'm going somewhere. Okay, so there was so much hate going on, especially after Halo 5 released. And 343 seemed to realize, hey, we know we messed up. So we're going back to our roots. We're going to try to please you guys. We're going to try to make something that's sort of a return to form, but at the same time still new. And honestly, and I've not played the game, of course, but Halo Infinite is starting to look like that, the kind of game that, everybody wants, even if it has a few, like, I know it's for the heated discussion of Sprint. I'm not talking about Sprint, but I mean, I don't personally care too much about Sprint, but I'm not one of those people that will be like, well, I'm not going to play this game because it's got Sprint in it. And I'm not one of those people. But there's people that still complain about stuff like that. But there's less people complaining about how they're what I'm trying to say is they're not complaining about how 343 is handling the fans, because they've gotten a lot of criticism, albeit some of it not great criticism, not constructive, I mean.
Especially on Halo 5.
Yes, especially on Halo 5. And me personally, I don't like the story of Halo 5. It was a great concept, but it was poorly executed. And
I think it was very misleading.
Yeah, well, the marketing is what really got me. The marketing was amazing, but they did not relate the marketing to what the game actually was about. There was just this big hunt between Locke and Chief, but they really messed up the context of it. They made it seem like he was a traitor, but in this one, he just went rogue because or went away without leave because he wanted to find his AI.
Yeah.
And all that Hunt the Truth stuff, that was so cool. I loved Hunt the Truth. I wanted them to explore more of the Oni corruption and all that stuff in Halo. Okay, I'm getting a little off topic from what I was talking about, but the way that 343 has handled their criticism and their fans has been drastically different. I compare Star Wars currently to the current state of Halo, where they made 2 movies that people didn't seem to like, and then the third one was supposed to hopefully be a saving grace, I guess. Well, no, the second one is supposed to be a saving grace from the first movie, but they messed it up even more. Now, I know your thoughts on The Last Jedi, but as like a whole, The Last Jedi was the Halo 5 of Star Wars. And
It divided the base.
yes, exactly. And I compare those two franchises because they are both going through the exact same thing, except one company actually listens to their fans and is trying to, communicate positively with them. As for Lucasfilm, they just tell us we're evil if we don't like what they make.
The biggest mistake Disney ever did going with the sequel trilogy was they didn't outline the trilogy. They just handed each movie to the director and say, do whatever you want with this. Just keep going with it.
I think
That
that's
was
the one
the
thing we
biggest
can all agree on.
Do it.
That's what they said.
That's
That's all they said. I gotta use it.
Yeah. That was their biggest mistake. They never, I mean, when you're going to have such a complex franchise, such as big as how Star Wars is, you can't not just write out how it's going to beginning, middle, end. You just have to, I mean, you have to at least have some branch points that have to be made throughout the trilogy and not just say, here you go, do whatever you want. And Ryan Johnson was handed, the sequel, and he completely gutted what J.J. Abrams tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, JJ came back and he tried to salvage what he could, and it kind of worked, but didn't.
Chrono says the big difference between Lucasfilm and 343 is that 343 does care about making money, while Lucasfilm is willing to lose money to push their narrative because that's the end goal for them, not money. So you're practically saying that they're the Heath Ledger version of Joker. It's not about the money.
It's about sending a message.
I think the mouse would say different.
Well, maybe, probably. I love referencing the Joker. I do it a lot. But yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. I thought about bringing that in as a topic for Star Wars topics, but I thought, nah, I don't feel like that's really something that we can all spend a lot of time on because I didn't think everybody that was in the stream knew much about Halo because we're mainly for Star Wars here, but I love Halo. And when Halo comes out, you better believe I will be playing. I will be putting some gameplay on here.
I will add, from what I can tell from Halo Infinite, it looks like a complete reboot of the game series to me, from what I could tell.
Well, they call it a spiritual reboot.
Yeah, and you see, like you said, I think especially when they showed the gameplay for Halo Infinite last year and how much reception it got from the fans, they were like, all right, we're gonna put this on hold. We're gonna work harder and deliver. Now, granted, we're gonna see how that actually turns out because it's dropping this fall, and we'll see how if they actually, actually truly did listen and redo their bit.
Think about E3. E3 is coming pretty soon. We'll get to see something on it before it's released. So then we can start forming more opinions at that point.
But yeah, I do think it was a lot of people don't like delays, but I always say a delay is a good thing because that means they're actually putting more time and effort to deliver on something that's going to be even bigger than what it was originally intended to be.
Yeah.
And prime example, look at Cyberpunk, the game that came out.
Can I get an F in the chat for Cyberpunk?
Yeah. Let's just consider the fact that it was delayed so many times and they still failed. But the fact is, if you know your game isn't ready, you delay it. It doesn't matter because clearly what happened, this hurt them way worse than them just saying, hey, we got to delay it just a couple more months. I would have rather have them took the heat for that than what they had happen to them because CD Projekt Red is one of the best game studios out there. The Witcher is one of the best game series ever made.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Cyberpunk, from what little I played of it, had I believe it had potential to be a
Oh, I
great.
saw exactly what they were going to do with it. I mean, it was
thought it was-
definitely going to be something fantastic, but the game was so buggy and it crashed all the time, and the graphics were so downplayed from what they were showing it was going to be.
Mhm.
So it
Yep.
was a huge disappointment. But that, like I said, they've been doing these new patch updates to it, and finally it's starting to get better. But the funny thing is, this latest patch they did, it created new bugs in the game.
Oh gosh. That's not what they need for sure right now. Don't they like playtest these updates before they actually
I think
them
at this point they're just trying to go as quickly as possible to fix the game at the bare minimum so people can actually play it.
Well, that might be the case. That may be the case.
Which I got it on my PC, and I know for PC gamers, Cyberpunk's a very different picture than what it looks like on console. Because on my PC, it's not nowhere near as bad as what it looks like on the Xbox One or the PS4. That's atrocious.
Well, I believe they probably put more work into the PC version than they did the console version, to be honest.
Most likely, PCs usually get the better graphics all around.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a ton of stuff with PC. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Well, I had something and then I lost it. I was going to mention something else.
We were talking about fan base and being divided.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of another franchise to really compare to
I
Star
can
Wars
probably
to
think of a few.
Like I said, look at Zack Snyder's DC universe versus
Oh,
what
yeah.
DC's doing now. That's a big
It
thing
seems
going
like
on.
the Harry Potter fan base universally doesn't like J.K. Rowling, which is really odd to see a fan base kind of just be like, yeah, we don't like the creator, but
Yeah,
we like the
she's
thing
yeah,
itself.
yeah. I've seen that too. There's a lot of people wanting to associate her with the new cancel culture term they like to use now.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
God.
it's kind of interesting because it seems like no matter what side of the political spectrum you fall under, it seems like everyone just kind of hates J.K. Rowling for different reasons. It's kind of funny.
I will say, I don't know what the hell she was thinking about with the cursed child.
Yeah, it was literally Back to the Future. It's trash. It is so trash. It's unbelievable. I can't believe I got excited for that garbage. It still makes me mad.
I wouldn't know.
We should do a segment where it's just me ranting about things that make me mad. And this is something
know
that makes me really, really angry. Because
Really,
this
the
is
cursed child was just her trying to get more of that Harry Potter money. She missed it.
yup, she wanted some of that green. That's what it was all about. It's
Well, you got the
it's
floor. Why don't you
stupid.
rant? Do all the ranting you want. This
Well,
is
listen, here's a rant. Here's a rant and a half. So, and this goes right along with the cursed child thing. And so they casted they casted a black actor or actress as Hermione. And which I don't really care about. It seems like in Broadway that's something that they kind of just like they don't really care. It's but my thing is the response that they came out and said when they came they could have just been like, yeah, it's not really a big deal, like, it's not really a big deal to have a black person play a white person. Like it's really like I said, it's something that happens quite a bit in Broadway, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's not an isolated case or anything like that.
No.
But anyways, they come out and they say, and J.K. Rowling says, well, I never said Hermione was white. I just said she had bushy hair. And this makes me so upset because even though this could be true, yes, this is true. This is, what really grinds my gears. But listen, this is something that agitates me so bad because while it might be true that she never explicitly said Hermione was white, we have illustrated versions of these books. Like, listen, I read a version of Harry Potter that was a picture book. Like literally each page was illustrated. This has been approved by J.K. Rowling. I mean, it's been published.
It has to be.
It's been published through Scholastic. Are you telling me J.K. Rowling? J.K. Rowling. I'm calling you out. Are you telling me that it's not canon? Is that what you're saying to me, J.K. Rowling? I'm so upset right now.
Gosh, I'm glad I let you do that. Was fun.
Listen. That, and I have no issue with the recast. I just have an issue with that response because that is the most sorry. That's the most sorry. Like I'm trying to be woke excuse that I've ever heard in my life, and it makes me so upset. Just come out and say we recasted her. It's not a big deal.
So she's trying to retcon her own work for a cash grab.
Listen, she does this all the time. J.K. Rowling will tweet something and is like, "Did you know Hagrid is gay?" And then you're like, "All right, what do I do with this information?" I don't. It doesn't change the story whatsoever. But I'm glad I know this now. Like, okay, the first thing, like years ago when she came out and said Dumbledore is gay, I wasn't really upset about it because, like, if you actually watch like the whatever that spinoff series that there is, it's like I don't know. It's like he kind of
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it's like he has like a romantic interest with this person that's the Johnny Depp character. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch this. I didn't really
Grindelwald.
much. Yeah, Grindelwald. It's like I don't know. It kind of does sort of add to the story. Like there's another layer. Like I understand that. I'm okay with that. But
One thing I'm going to say,
it's everything since then that I've had a problem with because it's just unnecessary. Like if it doesn't contribute to the story, it doesn't change it. You're not using it as something like I said with the Dumbledore thing. It's something that they added to it. They used it as a part of the story, so I don't have a problem with it. But if it doesn't play into the story, it doesn't change it. Like, why are you doing it? You know, it's like in Star Wars. If you think about up until the sequel trilogy, the only even I guess the sequel trilogy, I guess we would have to think about it. I haven't really thought about it yet, but it's like relationships in Star Wars, they don't just exist for romance. That's kind of the icing on top, the added drama to the story. But if you notice, all those relationships go to produce children who become significant to the story. So the point that I'm trying to make is that these things, these little details about like these details that they're giving us, they shouldn't be insignificant. If you're giving us information, it should be, generally somewhat important to the story that you're trying to tell. And if it's not important to the story that you're trying to tell, then why are you putting it in there?
That's a good point. Go ahead, Dark Knight, and say what you were going to say real quick.
I was just going to say, I think the story of Harry Potter evolved, especially with current events, because look at the time frame when the Harry Potter movies came out, and then between that time when Fantastic Beasts started coming out, I think Rowling made a few changes to keep her characters relevant and what's going on in current times right now. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. We need to make that a segment, Psycho. Rants with Psycho or something like that. Maybe not even make that a segment in a stream, but more of a like just a video where you just rant in the video and we just put it out there. I feel like that'd be a good thing for you. Oh, but anyway, I don't know where to go next with this. We can let's think of something else because I think we already sort of got the point across about their poor treatment with the fan base as opposed to other companies that do it. So,
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I can't really do anything.
Currently, I'm rewatching the Hobbit trilogy, and I'm comparing the difference between the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson films, and there is definitely a major difference.
Besides CGI?
Yeah, the CGI. Yeah, the CGI is the biggest thing. I was gonna say
It makes it look cartoony.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What do we all prefer? Do we prefer more CGI, or do we like the practical effects more?
Well,
practical
I
one.
prefer practical when it can be done. I'm not mad about CGI. That when if it adds to like if there's something CGI because it just is it would be so ridiculous or so high budget or so like asinine that they couldn't do it with practical like models or something like that. I think that's totally understandable. I think George Lucas went a little crazy in certain aspects. I think there's certain really grandiose examples of CGI in the prequel trilogies, like Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith is just gorgeous in my opinion. But the fact that he basically CGI'd in like every clone trooper in Revenge of the Sith and probably even Attack of the Clones now that I think about it.
Yes.
It's just like why do that? Like that's not really necessary. Like I would understand like maybe doing like CGIing half of the clones. Because like when you have them all standing in those huge columns like in Attack of the Clones, like that would be a ridiculous amount of actors.
Mhm.
But why are like all of them fake? That's like kind of unnecessary.
I was gonna say, just for a little humor, the crown that should be given to the man for the king of CGI should be George Lucas.
Yes.
Do
I
it.
mean, what did you say?
Do it.
Knew it.
I love it. I love it. Well, when it comes to the CGI in both those movies, because I got a rant of my own. Okay.
Let's go. The thing
Yes.
for this stream is rants.
Okay. So, by the way, let me read what Chrono says real quick. The CGI in Attack of the Clones is not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. And I would mostly agree with that.
Yep, me too.
There's a bit of in between in that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's not Phantom Menace tier.
It's just noticeably you can just say, all right, that looks pretty fake.
Now I think the Star Wars movie that has the worst CGI is the Phantom Menace. And
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, of course, because it's older, but I mean, they also sort of paved the way for that kind of technology, if I'm not mistaken, to be used in movies.
Yeah, they actually read something about that. It's where George focused so much on CGI, nobody else in that time was really looking into it. They didn't think that it wasn't going to go nowhere, but he incorporated it into his prequel trilogy, and now it's been elevated to a whole other level. You can look at like current movies now. I mean, even TV shows, like they use a very highly advanced computer for The Mandalorian. They've shown like this big circular curtain on their sets and it makes you look like you're really truly somewhere that looks real. And it's insane how much CGI has evolved over the years.
I would argue that George Lucas is one of the major innovators of CGI, probably.
Yeah,
I got to agree, but unfortunately, that didn't help with the second movie of The Hobbit and probably the third. My rant. Every single time I watch the ending of that movie with that stupid golden statue, I just want to rip all my hair out.
Yeah, I just watched Battle of the Five Armies last night, and that orc that
the White Orc?
Oakenshield, the one that Oakenshield fights, that's going too far, in my opinion. It went too far, especially with the ice. Like the ice didn't even look like ice. And then like there was a scene when Legolas dropped a tower down on another orc, and then this tower started crumbling, and it was showing Legolas in slow motion running at the fallen stones. And I'm like, that is not how physics works, sir. And the
I
CG,
remember watching that in theaters, and like when it first, I don't even remember how old I was, but I was definitely a lot younger than I am now. And I even then, like being super stoked on that movie, was like that looks kind of ridiculous.
then you look at, for comparison, look at like in the Two Towers, the battle for Helm's Deep. That
Uh-huh.
that's a prime example of what practical effects can do and how much it elevates a movie versus
Yeah.
CGI.
Well, let's talk about this. Compare, I believe they came out the same year. Compare the first Harry Potter movie to the first Lord of the Rings movie, and the difference is ridiculous. Like
Hmm.
the first Harry Potter movie was like early CGI, and they used practical effects, of course, on all three of the Lord of the Rings movies, and they hold up. They look like they could have been made like today. Like they
Yeah,
look amazing, especially those remastered versions, which of course
mhm.
they look great. But the thing is like even going back and watching the movie on like an old DVD, it looks good. It looks great. It
I
looks
actually
better
think
than movies that came out 5 years after it.
Lord of the Rings looks slightly. I think it looks a lot better than the first couple of Harry Potter movies. Now, when the Prisoner of Azkaban came out, I think that was when they got it right on the money.
Yep, that was a big shift in tone too for that movie. Huge shift in tone. I
But if you
remember
look at
people talking about
yeah,
like, the first two movies, they're pretty lighthearted, in my opinion. I mean, thematically there's some dark stuff, but they're pretty light.
yeah,
That third movie, I remember people talking about taking their kids to the theater and the scene with the Dementor in the train. Everybody was like, all the kids were like crying, and all the parents are like looking around. They're like, "Oh my god, this movie is
Yeah.
kind of messed up." And that was when everybody realized that this Harry Potter thing was kind of going a dark direction, and it only went darker and darker and darker from there. And honestly, I think perhaps the darkest Harry Potter movie slash book would be the Half Blood Prince. I mean, there's some really messed up stuff in that one. I mean, of course, it gets overshadowed by, you know, the Deathly Hallows, because the next book has the Battle of Hogwarts, and it's this huge event. It's the culmination of everything
I
that
think
has
you had
happened.
more. You had more in Half Blood Prince. There's a lot more attention to the details, more
There's
character development. See, in the Deathly Hallows, you just got all this big battle
action.
happening,
Yeah,
action. You're having more action, but you're giving away a lot of that character development, and that's what Half Blood Prince had. It had such a more deeper take, and it
it's
just
so tense.
elevated.
The movie feels so tense to watch, and I think the soundtrack is the perfect accompaniment. It's actually my favorite Harry Potter soundtrack too, because it's just the music feels like it builds the tension. There's a lot of really Katie Bell getting cursed. It's almost like a Grudge movie or something. It really scared me as a kid. There's the scene with Dumbledore and the Inferi. Um, of course, when Snape kills Dumbledore and everyone's jaw dropped as a kid. I mean, there's just so many crazy moments in Half Blood Prince, and for me, the most beautiful moment in the whole movie is when after Dumbledore dies and all the students are sitting around the astronomy tower, and the dark mark is up in the sky, and they all like look up in the sky and they cast Lumos, and like the light drives the dark mark out of the sky, and it's just playing I think the song is called Dumbledore's Farewell on the soundtrack. It's such a gorgeous song. you know um Thinking about it, a lot of like the JK Rowling stuff has kind of tainted some of my you know love for Harry Potter in a way, because I kind of roll my eyes at certain things. But thinking about it and reflecting, I mean, it's something that I really do think is a really, really great series and has a lot of great messages, and honestly shouldn't be tainted because of anything that the creator does. Like, we shouldn't enjoy it any less.
Well, I would agree, but this might be a bad time to mention it, but I still haven't watched a single Harry Potter movie.
We need to maybe for our chill streams we could watch like a Harry Potter movie, like each one, like ever so often, and eventually go through all of them and sort of talk about it. Because honestly, man, I know a lot about them. I know almost as much about them as I do about Star Wars. So like I could kind of I feel like maybe I could kind of give you some analytical things that would maybe add to your understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a really great story, in its own regard, and honestly, a lot of the messages, even though Harry Potter is pretty dark and has a lot of death and has a lot of, I don't know, it teaches a lot of valuable lessons. I would argue, and I would argue that most of the lessons that it teaches are pretty wholesome, and I think that there's not enough of that anymore. It seems like because the
It's no
darkness,
Game of Thrones, is what you're saying for
yeah,
in terms of dark.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think having dark themes is perfectly fine in a piece of art as long as that dark gives way to light in some way. Like, I think that there should be some sort of overall
Resolution,
resolution. Yeah,
closure, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. And I mean, not for every movie. I know there's some like A24 like indie films that I've watched lately that have kind of been sort of the opposite. But those movies are kind of more like an artistic statement than like a what I would say is a great example of perfect storytelling or something like that. Um, some of them are quite uneventful, to be honest. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've ever seen any of those movies that they like, any of the A24 movies. Some of them are really good.
I haven't.
As far as like horror movies, Hereditary and Midsummer are two of my favorites. They're kind of
They're horror movies.
they're horror movies.
Okay.
They're like, Hereditary is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Like, and not in a cheap, um, not in like a cheap jump scare, like theater screaming, throwing your popcorn type of way, but in a genuinely unsettling, images that stick with you kind of way. Which you could argue is not really a good thing, but I would counter argue that that's the whole point of, like, regardless of if you like it or don't like it, is the point of the art that they're trying to make. And
Mm-hmm.
if it makes you feel that way, then that they succeeded in what they were trying to do.
In terms of art and visuals, I will say the one thing that I think everyone in this chat can agree on
I know what you're about to say.
about The Last Jedi.
I knew it.
Yep.
It was visually and artistically the best looking Star Wars movie ever made.
I could agree to that.
I can
probably.
agree. I'll like I said, I give way to that.
I mean, I would say what you about Ryan Johnson. He knows how to do visuals.
I'll give you that. See, guys, this is what I was saying. He likes The Last Jedi, and that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Actually, I was wanting to bring up that I don't know, Shade, if you've seen Knives Out, but I
haven't.
love that movie. It's really great, and it's a Ryan Johnson movie.
A lot of people say Ryan Johnson, like, he's a great director. He just was not the ideal choice to do Star Wars.
No.
I
Not
would
at all.
argue that the same for JJ.
JJ, I mean, if we really want to get down to brass and tacks, The Force Awakens, that was just A New Hope with a reskin.
I
Yeah.
agree. I did enjoy it, but I mean, there's no denying it.
I still enjoy it. Like, on the 15th of December every single year since that thing is released, I've watched it because I do genuinely enjoy that movie. And I cherish the time that I went with my family to go watch it because
Yeah,
that
me too. I'm super
I think you
nostalgic about it.
enjoy The Force Awakens so much is just because it's a remake of a movie that you already liked, but it's got updated tech to it to where it looks even better and has a better script.
no, not
I
at
hate the
all.
concept of the Star Killer base so much, honestly.
I do
Like,
too.
I mean, every time I think about it, I get like angry, I get like angry hives on my body. Like I'm just
I
like,
do
why
think
did he think that he could do that?
I do think he knew what he was doing though. He was trying to play it safe. He was
Oh, of
playing,
course he did.
and he knew that if he gave enough of what he knew what everybody wanted. At this before The Force Awakens came out, everybody still
Everybody
hated the
wanted OT.
prequels.
Yep.
Everybody hated the prequels. He says he knew what he had to do. He's like, I got to make it so similar to the original trilogy, but at the same time, I've got to do some new stuff to it. Not a lot, but just enough. And that's really all it was. It was just, all right, 30 years later, the Empire is no, it's just a new name, the First Order. And they have a new Death Star. Ooh.
Ooh, man, I'm so terrified.
And then you got maybe some new characters, which I just want to say how atrocious they handled the character of Finn in this entire trilogy.
Oh man, yeah.
Biggest
God.
letdown. Shout out to John Boyega, who seems like the coolest dude in the world. And he seems like a genuine Star Wars fan and a sweetheart. Mark Hamill likes him, and that means that I do too.
And Rey, I think she was probably one of the best parts of the entire sequel trilogy was her character. But I mean, to just put it bluntly, it's like Finn, poor Finn, like he got the rough end of the stick of all of them. And say what you will about The Last Jedi, the character Rose should never have existed. I'm sorry. I respect the actress that tries to that was there. It's not her fault.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not her
not.
fault at all. I
It's
feel like that should be
she's
stated. It's sad that it has to be.
and I do not know why people seriously went after her for what she like. It's not, and she didn't do nothing. She was just trying to join a very massive fan base, and then they just completely like sent her all these messages, and she had to delete her Instagram. That's awful. What happened to her?
Yeah,
But
people shouldn't blame the actress or actor for the failure of the writers. So,
mhm.
I mean, look,
Rebellions are built on hope.
yeah, rebellions are built on hope.
I'll say this: the best Star Wars movie that Disney has done was Rogue One.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah, the character of Rose makes me want to shoot myself several times. We should do another rant segment about the character of Rose. But you know what?
Don't
There's-
get me started on The Last Jedi.
there-
Trust me.
Listen, there's nothing that I can say that hasn't been said, so I'm not even gonna get started.
I think we're all in agreement on The Last Jedi. It had its faults. I mean, I mean, I want one thing from each of you today. Say
What?
one good thing from The Last Jedi.
I'm gonna say something good about it right now. There's a lot of parts of it that I enjoy. Just this might be for The Last Jedi. There's a lot of parts that I enjoy and a lot of parts I have a lot of fun with. It's just the parts that I have problems with are just too big for me to overlook.
Would it happen to be the biggest thing is the handling of Luke Skywalker?
That's probably the biggest thing.
Well, as far as good things about it, it's not something that showed up in the movie itself, but more of a deleted scene. Because I already complimented its visuals, so I feel like it's cheating to just say that again. So the deleted scene about Phasma and Finn revealing what she had done on Starkiller Base, that scene was cool. And why they took that out, I don't know.
Phasma was meant to be the next Boba Fett, and Ryan Johnson completely got rid of her.
Well, technically, she was the next Boba Fett.
Yeah, she died abruptly and had no purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, Boba
Yeah.
Fett has huge purpose now, but honestly, like he didn't. I feel like I don't know. I would have liked to have seen a little more Boba Fett in the OT, but honestly, since like all the content we're getting now, it's fine. I'm just saying if it was left alone, if we didn't get any Boba Fett other than that, it would be kind of disappointing, don't you think?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going on with like the Disney Plus set. I truly think the movies are really not giving Star Wars its justice. For something as big as it is, you can't just have a 2.5 hour movie and that be it. I think what they're doing now is, especially after the announcement of all these new series that are coming that are live action, they're going to be able to make episodes, multiple episodes, and expand on the lore and the depth and the characters. And I think it's going to, and obviously it's working very well for Mandalorian.
When you talk about stuff you enjoyed in The Last Jedi, you mean Canto Bight, right?
Oh, yeah, best scene ever.
Oh yeah, it was like so important to the story. Like if they had taken it out, the entire thing would never have made sense. I mean, not even the prequels wouldn't have made sense. That's how
Listen,
important.
if you
this
have
thing
a
is.
speaking impediment, I respect you. But why did that one dude have a speaking impediment, bro? It just
make
made everything he said unbearable to listen to.
Oh, Benedict Del Toro.
Yeah, that drove me
Benicio.
up the wall.
Benicio, yeah. Benicio.
Yeah, Benicio.
Benicio.
Yeah, that stutter thing they did was so stupid.
It drove
Also-
me crazy.
Also, JJ, what happened to that guy? Like, he was in Last Jedi and poof, gone.
Just wait. They'll have like a comic on him or something like that. They tend to try to flesh out characters that they had in the movies and comics or books instead of in the movies. So, yeah.
Also, how about that Lightspeed when she turned over the ship and just made that thing happen? That made so much sense.
Has this become a Last Jedi rant? Because if you want me to talk about that one, I can go on for.
Hey, I'll point
The
out the
scene
flaws.
does look pretty dope, though. I will say
It looks
that.
good. It does look good.
It did look awesome. It actually amazed me at first, but the technicalities of it is what mixed it up for me.
My favorite scene in The Last Jedi was Rey and Kylo in the throne room. That whole sequence was probably my favorite scene.
Have you seen it slowed down though? It looks kind of garbage.
Oh yeah, slow down, but if you watch it at fast pace, you're like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it is pretty stunning. It is pretty stunning. Like it I was totally stoked when I saw it in theaters. And I will say when I saw, and you can ask Shade because I texted him right after the movie. I thought that it was a great movie after first watch because I was just like full of adrenaline and excitement, and I was just like,
Same
what?
here.
But it just like it kind of slowly set in the more
You started thinking more about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, I had more questions, like, and it's like the more I would try to explain them, I'm like, no, it was a great movie. It's a great movie. And I would try to explain to myself, like, I try to work through these things in my head, and I couldn't figure it out. And it just frustrated me. And eventually I had to be like, yeah, I don't think I like The Last Jedi. And it honestly made me sad. And that's why when I remind people that do like The Last Jedi, that defend it and get super upset when people don't, that we're all fans, and to be honest, we all want to like things. Nobody wants to hate something. I guess there are people out there that kind of get off on hating people, but I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
That's the worst thing about it. I think, and I hate to say this, but I think the Star Wars fan base is probably the most toxic fan base of all of them because there's just so many divisions of them, and I hate for it to be like that, but it's just the way it is, I guess.
Yeah. That's sort of why we made this channel in the first place. I use the hashtag non-toxic Star Wars in every tweet that I put out when I try to put out something about these streams that we do. That's the whole point of this channel, is to create a community that isn't toxic. So, step 1, make the channel. Step 2, make the community. And that's what we're working on.
Right.
But,
we're doing these streams twice a week, and we try to get people involved, and I hope people enjoy these conversations because honestly, we're just nerding out and enjoying ourselves.
oh yeah. I got like one more special guest coming Thursday. I mean,
So,
which me and Dark Knight know him. We work with him. But
Oh,
yeah, I'll tell you after the stream. But he's
I think
gonna be
I
pulling
think
up.
I know who it is.
Yeah. He got like one of the people I was talking to at work that day let them know about it, and they really wanted to get in on this. And they said they subscribed, and they're like, I'm so glad that I did. I guess they really enjoy what we've been doing here. So
sick.
yeah, and he's going to end up joining. He might even become a regular, depending. So I mean, depending if he likes doing this or not.
Oh
So
gosh, imagine
yeah.
imagine a stream when me and him both are on it.
It's untelling. It's untelling. He's a major Star Wars fan. He had like this little layered that said "This is the way" on it. He had a Darth Vader like mask on. You know, since we have to wear masks at our job, he had a Darth Vader themed one. He has a Star Wars phone case. Like he's decked out in Star Wars. He has a Rebel pin on his vest. Oh my gosh. He's decked out. So I can tell he's a major Star Wars fan. Chrono says no complaints at all about production, and I think he's talking about The Last Jedi. It would probably work if it was its own thing, but it's really bad. It's a really bad Star Wars movie.
This is what I was gonna say about Ryan Johnson, real quick.
Yeah.
I think instead of him doing The Last Jedi, and he did his own, like the planned his own trilogy of all new characters, all new part of the galaxy, I think it would have worked better.
It would work better than The Last Jedi.
Because see, with The Last Jedi, he's working with decades of fan lore, and obviously it did not go the way he wanted it to. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with his trilogy, if his trilogy came first, people would have liked him better, and it would have been a whole different outcome.
I mean, I don't know how the concept of a whole new galaxy would have went down with everybody. I can only speak for myself.
Well, not a whole new galaxy, just a part of the current galaxy, just a different area.
Okay, I thought it was like in a whole other galaxy. I thought I must have misread or misheard or something. I don't know, but if it like doesn't mention anything about like what happened in the other trilogies, then I don't know how people would have like really reacted to it.
Also, it could have took place in a complete different time frame. Like it could have happened 10,000 years before everything that we know happened. That's the best thing about Star Wars. There's so many time periods they can go in.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially the High Republic.
That's yeah,
that one's super interesting.
Yeah,
who cares about that?
I think Disney was like, what could be the most neutral era of Star Wars that we could go in that wouldn't make anybody have an opinion on it?
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not starting another rant. I think I've ranted enough. But
we gotta let all that out of it.
Yeah. Let's move on to something that's less ranty and more of just something else.
Okay.
Think of something fast. Hurry, do it.
Do it.
How about today? Good news on one thing. A production has started on the new Flash movie with Ezra Miller, and it was announced officially Michael Keaton's Batman is going to reprise his role in this movie with Ben Affleck's Batman, and there's going to be two Batmans in this.
Very interesting.
And potentially, they're saying Robert Pattinson's Batman will make an appearance in it as well, making their own. DC is going to be making their very own multiverse starting with the Flash movie.
Oh, that'll be pretty dope if they pull it off.
See, that's one thing I really like is a multiverse type of thing. Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, I think is what it's called.
It's a great movie.
It was a good movie. And then the Flash movie is talking about doing something like that. That's really cool. Why don't Star Wars do that?
They're also saying that the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie is on Earth 2, DC Earth 2. So it is officially they're going full force with the multiverse with their side, because there's going to be certain DC characters that are going to be on Earth 2, and Earth 1. Earth 1 is going to be, you know, the Ben Affleck, the Gal Gadot, those characters, Jason Momoa.
Spider-Verse. And
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
Chrono.
like that.
You corrected me. Thank you, sir.
And
He's always here to correct me.
And I've actually, based on what I've read, Ben, this is going to be Ben Affleck's last movie playing the character Bruce Wayne or Batman, and it's going to be like his send off, as it were, because Michael Keaton is going to take over the main role as the DCEU's Batman, and he's apparently
That's dope.
And get this, he's apparently, it's early stages, but they're thinking about doing an HBO Max series with him training Batgirl, except it's going to be the Batman Beyond style since he's an older Batman.
Oh man, I love the Batman Beyond era. I love
Sounds like DC's really stepping their game up.
Well, I think what happened was we all know about Zack Snyder. That's a thing there of itself. And I think after Justice League and all the drama that's came out from it, which it's sad to see that what all happened under Joss Whedon, I think he honestly shouldn't be allowed to be involved in any major blockbuster film anymore after what all I've seen he's done with that. And especially if you've seen the Snyder cut of Justice League versus the theatrical release, it's complete night and day of a difference, and it's honestly
the Snyder
horrible.
cut is
amazing. Quick question, because I haven't watched it yet, and I've been meaning to. I will watch it eventually. But in the Snyder cut, do they fix the CGI'd mouth thing with Superman?
There's not a single scene in that movie with him having a CGI'd face.
Thank goodness, because that looked terrible.
Well, that was because that was all Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder already filmed every scene he needed with Henry Cavill before that was even a thing.
Nice.
Listen, there's a scene. I don't want to give it away, but there's a scene with Ezra Miller and with the Flash and Superman, because the way that the Flash can like distort time when he's running. I don't know how to say it without giving anything away, but when you see it, you'll know what I mean. It gave me chills. I was like, "Oh my god, Superman is a G."
Honestly, like, and now I'm hearing, and I'll tell y'all this too. I know how y'all feel about JJ. Warner Brothers has hired J.J. Abrams to do a rebooted Superman.
Oh well, I'm not too happy about that, honestly. I like the Man of Steel version.
That's Zack Snyder's
I like it too.
Superman.
I like Lost, so there's that.
Well, I liked Lost as well for the most part until
I just think JJ's gotten too comfortable with reboots.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a lot of reboots now that I think about it.
Really weird. Why is that? Why is he the reboot guy?
Now, I might be
the reboot Michael Bay.
Is
that horrible to say?
Maybe not. Probably not. But like I was saying, I might be weird, and I like Star Trek. Star Trek is a good franchise, or at least it was a really good franchise.
It's a huge commitment if you're trying to get into it now.
Yeah, but as far as the Star Trek movies that he did with, I actually did enjoy them.
You see, that's another thing. When he did that divided the Star Trek fan base, just like what happened with over there at Star Wars. So, because now there's two timelines in Star Trek. There's the Kelvin timeline, and then there's I forgot the main timeline, what it's called, but
the main timeline. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
But,
so when he did that, it divided fans up badly. I don't think as bad as how Star Wars did, but there was still JJ came in and he kind of pulled a Rian Johnson. I'm gonna say it.
JJ pulled a Ryan. That's so funny.
That is funny, but I mean, I think it's a little more acceptable in Star Trek's case now. Albeit, I'm not as big of a Star Trek fan as I am a Star Wars fan. So for all the hardcore Star Trekkers out there, that they'll probably hate me for saying that I like it. But as far as the two franchises go, I think that it went it probably went over well a lot better with Star Trek than what they did with Star Wars. And the reason why I say that is because they explicitly say it's another timeline, so it doesn't mess up the current lore. So
as far as Star Trek goes, as far as Star Trek fans go, Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek. I'm sorry, Star Trek fans. Just kidding. I'm not really sorry.
I'd say a lot of people would say Next Generation.
Next Generation is great too. I really love the Next Generation.
What makes Next Generation so great is that Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he's amazing.
let's see. To be fair, Star Trek fans are near impossible to please. They hate almost anything. And I did like JJ Star Trek, and I grew up with the OGs. I loved the OG Star Trek. That I watched it every morning before school. I love it. They used to show it, I think, on TV Land.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And back then, my mama would take me to school. So my dad, right before he goes to work, and he goes to work early, he would take me up to my mama's. I would finish out the rest of my night up there. I would just and you know what, right before I went back to sleep, I would watch an episode of Star Trek because it would come on late at night. So I used to watch the old Star Trek super early in the morning, and then go back to sleep, and then go to school the next a couple hours later. So that's a fun little fact. I love the original Star Trek. It's corny, but I love it.
I will say,
I love it too. And honestly, I love the first JJ movie. I don't really know about the rest of them. I don't remember if there was 2 or 3. I think there was 3.
There's 3. There was going to be a 4th.
Second one was the best one. It had Benedict Cumberbatch in there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the third one a lot, but it felt more like and I've heard a lot of people say this. The third one felt more like an episode in a series rather than a movie. And since it was the last one that they produced, it should have felt more like a conclusion. But you can tell that they meant to make another one. It didn't really feel like it had closure to the whole thing. I feel like that's what they would have done with a 4th one. And I really wish they had done a 4th one.
Since I mentioned Benedict Cumberbatch, just a news update. Marvel has announced that Doctor Strange 2 has wrapped filming.
Nice.
Dope.
Nice.
Yep, that's going to be a big one.
Oh gosh, I'm excited for Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. I don't know what those now. Given I haven't watched too much of Marvel since the Avengers Endgame, but I did watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love it for the most part. The 5th episode's sort of iffy to me, but I mean, there was a lot of cool things in that episode, though. I really did enjoy for the most part.
From what I'm seeing with the future of Marvel, I think after Endgame, you had the epilogue. I like to consider Spider-Man: Far From Home kind of the epilogue to Endgame because it takes place right after Endgame.
Yeah.
And after that, we had a pandemic, and nothing came out for a good year, and then Disney Plus began running with WandaVision. And that, I don't know if it was because everybody hasn't had no new content in over a year, but people flipped out for WandaVision. And there was fan theories. There was fan theories, and it built it up. And unfortunately, a lot of the theories that people were speculating didn't pan out. But I still think it did good. And what I've noticed, I've seen both. I'm currently caught up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. I think what's going on in what Kevin Feige likes to call is Phase 4. This is going to be about evolving the current characters into their next phase, as well as introducing new origin stories like Shang-Chi, the trailer for it. That looks amazing. And it's going to be, we're getting I guess the new Avengers is what's going to happen, because the originals are, they're not all there anymore. You got Hawkeye and you got Thor, and that's kind of about it. And that's what this is, and that's what this is all going to be about. This next phase of Marvel is going to be it's pretty obvious that Sam is going to become the next Captain America.
Yes,
that's what's happening. I think our characters that we already know are going to be evolving to their next level, And we as a fan base is going to be seeing how it progresses, and we're going to be right along for the ride. Because I'd say after Phase 4 is done, Phase 5 is when you're going to see your next Avengers level movie again.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's got to be a lot of build up because so many hero stories ended, and they have to kind of take what they have and they got to build onto it to make it into something even bigger than what it already has. Which that's a tough shoe to fill already. But if anybody can do it, Kevin Feige can do it.
Oh yeah. See, the thing about it is, I almost don't want another Avengers level threat though, because I feel like that would, which it probably wouldn't. I just have like this weird sense of like, if something just as big comes along, then why did they save the world in the first place? If it was just going to get into a bad shape once again, that bad of a shape, let me put it that way. But I'm just.
It may not be the world anymore. It could, now we're starting to get into galaxies.
That's true.
It might be saving different worlds now, or maybe saving the whole galaxy at this point. Because I feel like Earth's been hit pretty often. Like I think the Earth has had its fair share of world-ending events.
Well, to be fair, Thanos did like wipe out half of all life throughout the entire galaxy, if not more than one galaxy. I can't remember for sure. So in a way, they already had that.
Controversial topic. Was Thanos right?
See, Falcon and the Winter Soldier sort of brings that into fruition there. There's people that not agree, but like liked it better during the time when half the people were gone. So that's something I did really enjoy about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is showing the aftermath of the blip, I think is what they call it, and how people are reacting to it. It's pretty good, in my opinion, for world building and all that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So and also, like, I could not stand the new Captain America. I couldn't stand him in the beginning.
I don't think nobody can.
And at first, I mean, I really didn't like him at first, and then I started getting a little character development on him. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not so bad, but I still don't want him to be Captain America. And then he goes and pulls off what he does in the 5th episode, and I'm like, okay, now I for sure don't like this dude.
Yeah.
Well, 4th episode, and then in the 5th episode, okay, I'm not spoiling it for you, Shade, if you ain't watched it. But
You're Shade.
Oh yeah, I'm Shade. I was looking at my name on here when I said that. Psycho. Gosh.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
no spoilers. No, we won't do spoilers. We'll be very broad about anything.
Yeah, but what the new Captain America does, and that I don't want to say too much, but man, that fight though between the three of them, oh man, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Mind you, I still don't have Disney Plus. I'm finding my ways to watch this stuff.
And the FBI says, ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hey, I didn't say I wasn't watching it with a friend or something, and they don't know anything. I know somebody that has Disney Plus that I can watch stuff with, which is what I actually plan on doing when Bad Batch comes out.
You can come over here.
Yes, I'm coming down there. If you would have me, I'm coming down there on the 4th to watch Bad Batch.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Since we're talking streaming services, I would like to talk about this. In everybody's opinion, do we believe there's a streaming war going on right now between the companies?
I think that's very apparent more than like a question. I don't think it's a question at all. I think we should like just accept that there's a war going on and just pick what we like.
Because I was gonna say that it's I think if you add it all up now if you had all the current streaming services, you're gonna be spending more than what it would cost to have basic cable now.
Yep, exactly.
And to me, I still think that Netflix is the king of streaming because they've had such a head start at it than everybody else. But I do think Disney Plus is going to be creeping up behind them. They're the closest one probably catching up to them.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. And when I had Disney Plus, I really did enjoy it. But after they fired Gina Carano and had the concentration camp controversy thing, I'm like, okay, maybe not so much want to support them until they fix things. But as we all know, they're probably not going to. I've went to HBO Max and that's where I watched Ford versus Ferrari, and I love that movie so
Yeah, I was
much.
gonna say
Just
that.
gotta say, I love HBO Max. There's so much great content on HBO Max. I watch Impractical Jokers day and night. Shout out to the Impractical Jokers. If y'all are watching this, there's no way they're watching this. It doesn't matter.
Now
Continue.
Chrono's here though.
Who's here?
Chrono's here though. Oh well, he left.
He left.
No,
Dang.
psycho. He left me. Well, it's just me and you now. He'll be back in just a minute.
Probably.
But
I was gonna say HBO Max. It is great. Biggest
Mhm.
problem about it though, it's not global yet, and that's their biggest problem right now because Disney Plus is basically everywhere around the world. It's not everywhere yet, but it is getting real close. And
yeah.
with HBO Max, they're just being real slow about it. It's very much like how Marvel is like going full steam ahead, and DC is still playing catch up. And the same situation's going on with their streaming service. It's like Disney Plus is full steam ahead, and HBO Max is still playing catch up.
Yeah. I really enjoy HBO Max. I'm glad you got me into it. I do really enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have watched Ford versus Ferrari on there, and I really do like that movie.
Oh yeah, there's tons and tons of classic films on there, and they're just amazingly good.
I watched the Dark Knight movies on there just recently. I watched a couple of the old Batmans with the Michael Keaton Batman. I actually recently rewatched those.
I bet you're then very excited to hear that Michael Keaton's coming back.
Yes.
and
I
he's
forgot
not
to
just
mention that
he's in
earlier.
a big role in it too. Like he ain't like a minor role. He's actually like the second main character of the movie.
Oh yeah, I love Michael Keaton. He's awesome.
Like in a romantic way?
No, not in the romantic way. No,
Are you in love with Michael Keaton?
maybe a little. No,
Slightly?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm good. He's too old for me.
I will say, out of all the streaming services, Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max are the big three. Hulu is right behind them though.
Now for
Hulu's good for
Hulu,
Bob's Burgers for sure.
yeah, I'm not like a fan of Hulu too much.
I think Hulu's good if you don't want to pay for cable.
I mean, we did have Hulu as a TV service for a while. Like we paid for their service or whatever. It was like $50, I think. And then we just like went to just streaming services like Disney Plus at the time, Netflix.
I just
And-
don't see the need for having like live TV anymore.
There ain't no use at all.
It's just, I mean, there's nothing ever when you have like cable. It's like there's nothing ever on.
Yeah.
And then with these streaming services, you have a vast library of so much stuff, so much content, and and especially Netflix is the best one. For example, they have a thing for every type of genre. It doesn't matter who you are; they have a thing for everybody.
Yep. That's true.
What's also interesting about some of these is when some of these streaming services get like Trailer Park Boys, for example. Trailer Park Boys, they decided that they wanted to go to their own network, and so they launched their own website and they've started making their own content there, but they can't actually post their own show there because Netflix has full rights to it while they're within their contract. And I thought it was so interesting that they couldn't put their own TV show to stream on their website, even though they produce it themselves, like the main characters in the show. They like direct and produce those movies, so it is kind of their like intellectual property in a way, but they couldn't actually stream it on their own website because Netflix has exclusive rights to stream it there until their
Right.
contract runs out. So that's just pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we'll end the stream at 1:30
Sounds good.
or 1:30, an hour and 30, not
Yeah.
1:30.
Yeah.
30.
1:30 a.m. We're still streaming.
Let's go like 6 more hours, guys.
We
Yeah.
got plenty to talk about for 6 hours, and I'm sure none of
um,
us have a laugh outside this thing. So
I
See,
think for
tonight-
our first gaming stream, I would like to do either Battlefront 2 or maybe Jedi Fallen Order.
Mhm.
I'd like to do a playthrough of it, and also I think I mentioned before, like doing some throwback games.
yes, like
old LucasArts
the old-
games would be like really, really fun.
The Force Unleashed. Great.
Yeah.
game.
Yes.
such a good game. Star Wars
Force
Battlefront
Unleashed 2, not so much.
2005.
Too short and kind of
yeah.
garbage.
I liked it, but
It's
Not the
fun.
same.
it's I mean, it's a good game in my opinion, but not like the first one. The first one was
The
like,
first one was special.
yes.
Like the frame rate, when you go back and play it, it almost feels like it lags. But back in the day when it first came out, the graphics looked like crazy. I don't even know how to
Mhm.
explain it. Like, I remember when that game came out, and I just remember it looking so good comparatively to everything else that came out. And
Yep.
I wish that kids today could like go back and play that game and experience like
They
how
can.
amazing that I
It's backwards
thought it
compatible.
looked.
Let's not even talk about the canceled Star Wars 1313.
Oh,
Yes, let's not talk about that because that's another
Yeah.
rant topic.
that is another one. And or Republic Commando 2. There's so many of them. Republic Commando is by far my favorite Star Wars game that ever came out.
I will
Besides-
say-
OG Battlefront 2.
I mean, I like it better than OG Battlefront 2 for only one reason, and it's because it was
Is that reason that you on crack, son?
no, I played Battlefront 2 more than Republic Commando. Don't get me wrong. It's the campaign. The campaign was so good. I loved the campaign in that game.
It is a great campaign, and I know slight to that game. It is one of my favorites as well, and honestly, one of my a couple contenders for me. I don't know how we're all gonna go through favorite like Star Wars games. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is for sure up there. It should be on everybody's list.
Battlefront 2 is in the original Battlefront 2 or the EA Battlefront?
No, the original Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Original Battlefront 2, Republic Commando, the original Lego Star Wars
Yes,
is just such a classic. It's iconic.
that's how you got me into Star Wars. So,
That's
Oh,
how I
really?
got into Star Wars.
oh really?
Honestly. I also really enjoyed Star Wars Galaxies back in the day. That game was great.
I
It was
never
like
got
the
a chance
first
to really
MMO
play
I
it.
ever played.
I never got a chance to really play it.
They shut the
Unfortunately.
servers down, but it was dope. So that one was really good. The bounty hunter game that they had was really fun. I don't know. Did you ever play the Obi-Wan game?
I did not. I think that you can get it because I think it's backwards compatible on the Xbox currently.
I wonder how good it is. I never played it.
I never did either. As
Oh,
far
boy.
as
The Disney Plus Obi-Wan series is coming out next year. They are filming it as we speak.
I think there's a lot of promise to that.
It's probably going to be what brings everybody back from all the controversial from Mandalorian.
I really
Yeah.
hope that it is. If it is that thing, then we
Yes,
might be
Rogue
heading
Squadron
into
was
a new
so
age
good.
of a Star Wars fandom.
If I
Rogue
have-
Squadron, yes.
Yes, that was such a good game. I had it on GameCube. I
I'm gonna
loved
toss one
it.
out there. I'm gonna toss one out there that no one's expecting.
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars Pod Racer 64.
Hey, that is backwards compatible on the PlayStation 4 and I think on Xbox. I think.
You're lying.
No,
What?
I've got it on my PlayStation and I've been playing it.
If you guys have never played if you guys never played Star Wars Pod Racer 64, is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure
Well, I don't think it's called 64. It's just Star Wars Pod Racer.
it's for the Nintendo 64, or that's what it originally came out on.
Yeah.
Fun game, so fun, pretty challenging. We'll say pretty hard. But
I love racing games.
It's a very fun game.
Yeah, if you haven't, then I've just got one thing to say to you.
Are you on crack, son? We're gonna get canceled for making fun of child genocide.
Oh man.
I have
Hey.
to say one thing,
Yes.
and it's going to be a rant.
Oh no.
Let's go.
The handling of the Star Wars games under EA's control.
Oh.
Trash.
Why? I just want to ask
Well-
whoever was in charge of it. I just want to say why.
Well, I will say one good thing about it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA did improve and has become a really good game. If they had just kept updating it,
When Battlefront 2 first came out, though, that was
it was
atrocious.
atrocious.
Can
Yeah,
you make
yeah.
a soundbite of me saying, "Are you on crack, son?" And we'll
Yes,
just
you know
play
what?
it.
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
We'll just play it anytime someone says something crazy.
They finally did something right when they did, the last Jedi Fallen Order. That they finally
Yeah.
got it.
And
That could be. That's in my opinion. That's the game version of the Obi-Wan series. Like, I had no idea that game was going to be near as good as it was.
But
And it
I'm
seems
so
like everybody is in agreement. Like, yeah, this is like really good game.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I'm so glad though that the EA exclusive game contract deal is over, because
Thank
we've got
God.
It's technically
Ubisoft.
not over,
is
but
making-
it will be next year, I think.
Ubisoft has already announced they're making an open world RPG Star Wars game. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, they're working on it, but as far as them selling games right now, I think they're still under contract with EA, but I think it expires soon. So by
That
the
was a
time
horrible idea to
out-
lock. That was a horrible idea to lock Star Wars up just to one game studio.
yeah,
Are we in Dexter's Diner right now? What's
Yes,
going
yes, we are.
on?
you just now noticed?
I
Did
just realized.
you even see the stream's thumbnail?
No.
This is just Obi-Wan vibing with Dex.
Oh my God.
I figured it fit the stream since
It
we were going to
fits.
just chill for the most
We've
part.
just been vibing. This has been so fun.
Obi-Wan. Dex. Hello, Dex. I love it. Sadly, the Ubisoft game is said to be set in the High Republic era. Well,
Oh my God. Wow.
hopefully not. But if
Oh.
that is the case, I hope they actually make it better than what the books are making it to be.
They're really wanting to push that High Republic era.
That's because it. Why didn't they just do Old Republic? Everybody wanted that, but no, High Republic.
Disney.
High Republic.
No one cares.
They
I
were
don't
like,
know.
No one
somebody.
cares about the High Republic.
they're
Nobody.
like, this is what Disney was thinking. What's a character that we already have well established that could still bring people to watch it because they're like, oh, that guy's in it? Yoda.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason. And they almost messed him up in the books, as from what I heard.
On crack you are.
Discussion time.
Oh my God. This stream has been so fun.
See, this is why I like the chill streams. I'm so glad we did a chill stream this time. And you know what? It's almost time for us to end the stream. Unfortunately, our fourth never showed. He'll probably show up next time for sure.
If
Well,
he doesn't,
we'll get him
I'm gonna
eventually.
find him and beat him because I know where he lives.
I will find you.
I think I just committed to.
will kill you.
I need that as a clip too.
You do. You sounded like Liam Neeson so much right then.
Yeah, I'm sort of okay at doing impressions.
My
It could work if you're able to play as Geode. Let's just play as a
Oh my
sentient
God.
rock. Let's do it. I wonder what kind of character customization you'll have. Can you change his rock size? Can you give him a dress? What can you do?
What are you talking about?
Geode the Rock from the High Republic books. You know Geode.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I got lost when you said
They made a
grass.
rock have force abilities.
And I'll say it again. That makes no sense.
One thing I want to say before we end it, if anyone wants to read one of the next level Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, look into Mistborn. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I got to agree. I'm liking it. I'm listening to the audiobook.
Brandon Sanderson is like the George Lucas of books now.
Yeah, Psycho. If you like, you should try it. If you like books,
I'll definitely check it out. I'm trying to think of my closing thoughts.
If you got Audible and you have a free credit, just use it on Mistborn Final Empire.
Okay.
You will not regret it. The narrator is fantastic.
Yeah, he's beautiful. I don't know what he looks like, but he's beautiful. All right, so we're getting ready to end. What's your closing thoughts now, Psycho, since you're thinking of them?
Watching Practical Jokers every day.
Oh, great advice. I've never watched them.
Oh, dude, you would love it so much. Do you know the premise of it?
Go ahead, tell me.
They wear an earpiece and they send one of them out in public and they just make them they make them do outrageous stuff in public, and it's like shows like their reaction, and it's just wild, and it's just really, really funny. I think you would greatly enjoy it. Me and Keely watch it all the time.
Isn't that on HBO Plus? Is that?
It is. It's on HBO Max. They're just
HBO Plus.
Just little,
sorry,
I'm 20-minute. They're only like 20-minute episodes, so like you can just watch them like if you're like going to bed or something. And it's just like background noise. They're really funny though. I think you would enjoy it.
Okay, I'll check that out. That's a good. Yeah. Okay, I'll do
Closing thoughts and Practical Jokers.
My closing thoughts. I have none. I just have thoughts and not that many of them. But I'll let Dark Knight say his piece before I say mine.
I want to say thanks for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it. I can talk all day long about current events, topics, anything related to anything Star Wars or anything like that nature. And if I can give out some recommendations for people like Mistborn, I highly, highly recommend everybody takes a look at Mistborn. Fantastic book. And I finished the first book. I'm going into the second one right now.
Yep. I can concur. I've gotten through the prologue at the very least, and the prologue has really hooked me so far. I really, really like the idea of the Mistborn books. But I am glad to have been able to get you on the stream. I hope that you can come on a lot more often because this has been amazing.
Well, of course. I'll anytime I can ever add my thoughts or anytime I can join in, of course I will.
Well, lucky for you, we do it on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So it's whenever you get, you can plan around that if you need to, or if you're free.
Saturday this week.
Oh yeah, Saturday this week. That's right. That's one thing I forgot. So instead of a Thursday stream this week, it's actually being moved to Saturday. I don't know if everybody will be able to join because it's been moved to Saturday, but we are having a stream that day because there's some people currently in this stream who have
It's Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's Dark
Yeah,
Knight.
definitely Dark Knight. Definitely.
Yeah, Dark Knight. Yeah. It's all his fault.
Where's the trigger? Where is it?
Yeah, but on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern, we are having our Star Wars topic stream. I haven't ran that by with everybody yet, and I feel bad for that. I'm so glad you reminded me of that. I'm going to let everybody know like right after the stream. Yeah.
You know what the topic is yet?
I've got a vague idea, but I'm not going to say anything unless I'm 100% certain. I'll have it within the next couple of days.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if you want to join in on it, Dark Knight, Saturday. If you're free Saturday at 6, you can do that.
Probably going to be a no this Saturday.
Oh, dang it.
Well. But next Monday.
All right. I think he's going to become a regular on our Monday streams.
Sounds good. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
So, yeah, Saturday, remember, I've got to remind everybody. Remind me, Psycho. Remind me just in case I do forget, because I did forget about that. And I'm
I
glad you
will.
reminded me.
I'm sure we can find people regardless of if anybody from the council can show up.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good stream, guys. I've really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to next Monday. I don't know what we're going to do yet since I canceled our Star Wars analysis stream, but I'm looking forward to it.
Don't
And it's
forget
great.
to watch the Shang-Chi trailer.
Yes, that too. I'm glad you reminded me. So we're going to get off of here. It's been fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Chrono, for all your input and correcting me. You do this every time, and I really appreciate that. I almost forgot my ending slogan, but I remember it now. Respect each other and respect yourselves. That's what I always say. And you know what? I'm going to leave you with this right here. And maybe... And then may the force be with you always.